All right, well, let's talk Foundation, which is I've seen the first five of the eight that they've made available, and it is
Mm.
absolutely astounding. It looks like the most expensive movie you could ever imagine. The scale of it is just jaw-dropping. The production, every penny, every cent is on that screen. So let me just start out by asking you, how did you, was it just a really basic audition process? Did you even know what you were auditioning for initially? Were they quite quiet about it?
Goodness, I'm trying to cast my mind back, James. I'm awful with this. But by the time you sort of the thing is about to go out into the world, time has passed, and then you sort of think back to the shooting, and then you think back to before that. I think I did know about it. I think I did know what it was. It wasn't so hyper secretive that I couldn't get my bearings. Sometimes that happens, and it makes it sort of a bit difficult to sort of trying to understand what you're getting involved with. So I had a couple of meetings, and then yes, this was the first sort of inkling I had of the scale of the thing, other than the script, which sort of in their ambition and in their scope, I mean, that really whet my appetite. But I was shooting an indie in Italy, and I sort of got flown over to Ireland to the studio to do my test, and we sort of did the test. Lou and I did a chemistry read, and I did a couple of other scenes, sort of in the studio with the DP. It was like a sort of day's work. I was like, this is brilliant. Sort of as an actor, I think it's nice when you feel like you're rolling your sleeves up in an audition and getting to it, because it's when you sort of feel like, oh, this it's a test and I've got to do my bit, and when you feel like it's a day of work, you think, okay, let's get involved. So that was actually really one of the really nice things about that process. But yeah, from that point, I sort of thought, goodness, no one's messing around here. This is this is proper.
Obviously, yeah, you've got some experience with slightly big productions, sets that are quite impressive. Maybe people have turned them into a museum since then, that sort of thing. How does something like Foundation even compare to previous experiences? Because from the looks of it, it's just huge. It's got people shooting in Iceland, you've got
Yeah.
people shooting in all sorts of places, sets. I realize there's a lot of CGI, a lot of extensions, things like that, but it just seems incredibly huge and impressive. I know you had LED screens everywhere for certain scenes.
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely compares to other experiences I had, which is a testament to the production values of the show, and the scale of it. The locations were incredible. We shot some amazing places. I didn't get to go to all of the exciting places that were shot at, because that's the nature of the story. It's so big. You sort of occupy a part of it, and you sort of live in your little corner of that intergalactic world. But we shot, for example, at this beautiful concert hall in Tenerife. It looked incredible. I mean, I was sort of between setups. I was just there, sort of taking pictures of this incredible building, sort of from every angle I could find. So that stuff is hugely exciting. It sort of builds your sense of anticipation as you're going through the project, and you see that all the pieces are lined up. The quality of the cast, of the crew, of the kind of the whole production, the way it's functioning, the kind of scale and ambition of the thing, and for me, the fundamental thing, the scripts. The way the scripts tackle the material made me think this could be a really exciting thing to be part of.
Let's talk a little bit about Raych and his sort of he feels like someone in his sort of background. He's a little bit like he was the Artful Dodger if he was adopted by Alan Turing in some sort of way. That feels like his kind of
I love
relationship
that express. That's brilliant.
to Jared's character. How was it sort of like finding that character? Obviously, you start with the script, but did the two of you sort of develop, you and Jared sort of develop your little relationship together, your sort of father son dynamic, this complicated father son dynamic?
Yeah, very complicated father-son dynamic, as you say, because it's multifaceted. That was the thing that made Ray so fun to play. That those relationships, those central relationships to him, are not straightforward, and there's a lot going on. He's juggling a lot. So there were a lot of conversations sort of with David, who was sort of shedding light on various things. David Goyer, sort of, talking about bits of backstory, conversations with Jared about that, and the lovely thing is those conversations weren't just for our own gratification. It sort of comes out, it builds to something. That backstory is key to the way they relate and to the actions that are taken and the huge repercussions that sort of follow as a consequence. So it was really satisfying to get stuck into to a relationship that has that level of complexity, but also to see it have a real bearing on the story and it not just be part of the sort of invisible work of the actor.
Gotcha. And also, when you're out sort of filming, did you get to do much location, or how did the sort of the giant screen sort of help you? I know there's one particular scene where you and Lou are sort of sitting on a what looks like a landscape, and you can sort of roll back the sun. Sun goes down. You can sort of replay it, and that a lot of that I know was done with these giant screens, so you could actually be there. Did that help your performance to sort of have what felt like a more of a real idea as opposed to just a big green screen you got to act opposite?
Yeah, that was helpful. That was helpful because again, it sort of gives you the atmosphere. Anything that gives you the kind of the geographical specificity, the context of the scene is, it sort of does a bit of that work for you and sort of enables you to react to something as opposed to just sort of creating it yourself. You're sort of you can respond to what's there as opposed to just I suppose spending that imaginative energy conjuring it. So that was really nice, but lots of brilliant locations. We did some stuff on location in Berlin. We had a little a sort of decent chunk of time there, and again some wonderful. I mean, the sort of court set from the first episode, if you remember, I thought that was an amazing building. I mean, they found some fantastic places, but it's nice. It's nice to do that stuff and not just be on a green screen or not just be looking at a sort of tennis ball that someone's waving around or whatever. I mean, sort of at its heart, I suppose the work that I do is about relating, whether it's relating with the audience, sharing that story with them, or relating with the other actors. So it's nice that kind of the personal side of it was always central, always felt like it had that kind of pride of place.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. Wish you the best of luck. I'm not sure the show will need the luck. I think it'll be a big hit, but we'll see. And yeah, I wish you best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much, James. Look, thank you for your time and take care.
Cheers. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.